Hi, a little bit different. We're not going to get to see my ugly mug today, so you guys will probably be glad about that. We're going to go straight into a tabletop review of this QSP Penguin flipper knife. D2 tool steel, liner lock design, really smooth, and I got quite a bit to say on this one. There's plenty of reviews out there on these, but I'm so impressed with this that I just had to do a review on it. So for those of you that don't know, QSP are a Chinese company based in Yangjiang in Guangdong province. The QSP name stands for quality, service and price. So these guys have positioned themselves at the budget end of the market, but they're trying to bring you like the highest quality budget knives that they possibly can. And I'm not talking about budget knives like, you know, buy them from a gas station, you know, they're stuck on the wall at like $2 or £3 or whatever, but probably half the price of similar competition. So QSP really rate their manufacturing and process. They speak a little bit about that on their website, and they say they're, you know, committed to the design and manufacture of practical knives and with quality and cost performance in mind. And their motto is keep moving, do better, which is good to know. So this little Penguin it's so smooth, it's so nice to hold, and they've got loads and loads of different models of Penguin. So this was the one I bought. I think this was the brass, which was a little bit more expensive. We'll get into the price in a minute, but they have some micarta options. They got a really nice blue jean micarta, which I'll probably buy as well just because it's so ridiculously cheap and they look ultra cool. And they've got loads and loads of different options. There's probably like 15 different types that you can get, but all based around the same design. This sort of sheep's foot type blade, D2, really good for undoing like boxes, you know, box cutting and stuff, and it's really slicey. It's a nice thin blade, so it's just good for general everyday use. It's quite light, even in this copper body. It's a pretty light knife, and it's super flickable. You can't out playing with the thing. It's just so nice to hold, and the specs on it are actually pretty decent. So blade material, as we said, is D2. Blade length 7.9 centimeters. It's 0.28 centimeters thick, and closed length is 10.2 centimeters. Overall length 18 centimeters. It's got a plain edge, sheep's foot blade. This particular one is black washed brass handle material, flat grind, liner lock as we've already mentioned, and it has a pocket clip. The pocket clip can be modified to go on either side. You can see the screws there, and I'm not entirely sure, but it feels to me like it's on bearings. I mean, I don't know if it is or not, but it certainly feels that way. Maybe it's on like ceramic spacers or something, but it feels like it's running on bearings. It's so smooth. And what I really like about this was the price, let's be honest. So even if I paid £80 or $80 for this knife, I'd be happy. I wouldn't be complaining. It's centered pretty nicely. Don't know if you guys can make out the centering on that, but it is centered nicely. It's well made. There's no like nasty sharp edges. Everything it feels good, pleasant. It's nice weight to it. It's solid when you open it up. There's no like wiggly movements, and I've been messing about with that for like 3 weeks, so if it was going to start wiggling, I'm pretty sure it would have done by now. But it wasn't £80 or $80. I think I paid $39.95 for this, if I remember rightly. And like I say, the micarta one was even cheaper. I was so tempted because that was like £30. So nothing really in the knife world. So for a D2 flipper, that is literally nothing. D2, really good blade material. I've got loads and loads of D2 knives, and it's kind of difficult to sharpen if you don't know what you're doing, but if you've got a decent sharpening system, you know, no problem at all. It holds an edge really, really well. It'll last for ages. You can get it really nice and sharp. Some people don't like D2 because, you know, they probably haven't learned how to sharpen the knife properly, and if you're going to use knives, then just learn how to sharpen them, as simple as that. But I find D2 great. Like I say, it holds an edge. And you can see there, this came wicked sharp out of the box. I haven't even needed to sharpen it yet, and I've mainly been just using it in a workplace for packing materials and stuff like that, and just general use, and it is absolutely ideal for that. It doesn't weigh too much. I can't remember the weight offhand. Let's look if I can dig it out. 145 grams, which it's not the lightest knife in the world, but equally speaking, it's not the heaviest either. I like it. It feels good in the pocket. You know, I forget it's there, but then when you pick it up in your hand, you definitely know you're holding on to it. Got a bit of jimping on the top. The jimping is really, really light, so it gives you a little bit of traction, but nothing that's going to wear your thumb away. The whole knife is just really ergonomic. The way it sits, even here, there's a little bit of jimping actually on the lock there, on the frame lock. I don't know if that's like designed so that you can push it across easily, but when it kind of sits in your hand, you can kind of feel that. But it just sits real nice, even though it looks quite angular, but it's just really, really pleasant to hold. You can get really good purchase on the top, and then if you want to press down with that tip, it's good for like marking stuff out. If I wanted to do some cut out some paper or plastic, then it's really cool for that. Yeah, I just think it's great. Then the other little bargain, now we're on the subject of budget bargains, picked up from Amazon, just one of these phone repair kits, and I literally paid £12 for this. So it comes with a driver which extends in and out, so you can hold that. It spins on the back there, so you can actually manipulate it quite nicely, and then you can just control length of driver, so that's ideal. But what I really like is it comes in its own little case, so you can keep everything together. There's some like picks and stuff. There's a bendy extendable thing for the driver there, just in case you need one of those. A couple of different levers. They're probably for like levering phones, but one of the things I've found is sometimes when you're taking a knife apart, it's actually pretty difficult sometimes to separate the handles or the scales and stuff like that. I was taking a DPX Hest apart the other day, and it was really hard to lever the two pieces away, just because it's fitted so precisely. And one thing you don't want to do is start sticking metal stuff in there, so these came in really handy. You can get things like these, stick them in between, and they just look like little guitar picks, but I think these are for picking phone screens off, but you can actually work them in and start leveraging parts of the knife, and you've got no risk of breaking anything. And then you've got sockets and various different bits. So some knives like the DPX comes with these like two-pronged fittings on the main screw, and it's got some pretty odd ones here which I haven't seen before. There's like some triangular, two-pronged, various different things. But then you've got more standard stuff as well, and all your hex pieces there. So for 12 quid, they're probably not the greatest quality metal in the world, but then you're probably not putting huge amounts of pressure on them. And you know what, if you knacker a couple, then just replace them with like decent quality ones, you know, buy some German stuff and then you just stick them in the box and it's just a nice little knife toolkit to go. Right, hope you enjoyed that, guys. Go out and buy yourselves one of these Penguins. There's a link in the description. I'll put up a couple of links for UK and US, and I'll also stick a link up for this Amazon item, which is just the drivers and the bits, because that's going to be real handy. Buy them both. Buy a cheap knife, buy a toolkit to service it with, buy yourself a little tube of knife oil, and you're good to go. Have a great day, guys. Take care.